Okay, let's talk a little bit about the different kinds of laws, because there's many different categories of laws that we could talk about. The first one and kind of foremost is the one that I think a lot of people think of, and that's constitutional law. It's determining the federal and state constitution whether certain things apply. So things like free speech, freedom of religion would fall under the category of constitutional law. So if something was done to eliminate your freedom of speech or eliminate your freedom of religion, or when you were accused of a crime, if it violated your freedom, maybe violated your sense of privacy with an unconstitutional search and seizure, that sort of thing. So constitutional law would be that. Common law we talked about in a previous video, where it has to do with precedent. Like, we want to make sure that cases are decided on a very consistent manner. I think I always, and every year I use this example because this is kind of from back in the day, that if I ran over one of your chickens and killed it, and the courts ordered me to replace your chicken, if I did the same thing a week from now or a month from now, the outcome would be the same. I'd be made to, replace your chicken. That's a common law. That's kind of what would happen. It's a law based on precedent, for sure. It's also known as case law. So basically, you're saying you're looking at old cases and you're going to base kind of the outcome based on those decisions. Criminal law. Now, this is if you've committed a crime, like that's like murder, arson, rape, assault, theft. Those would all be crimes. Like, I've done something wrong. I've done something to harm somebody, and again, there's going to be some sort of punishment waiting for me on the other side, for sure. Depending on what your state's or the national, what's called the penal code, meaning they have a list of punishments for all these crimes, what that is, and that's what you're going to get kind of as we go forward. We do have a parallel system of justice, so there could be a state crime, and there also could be a federal crime. So let's just say O.J. Simpson. Let's take O.J. Simpson. Murder is a federal law as well, but most of the time, if you kill somebody like O.J. Simpson did, the state is going to come after you. O.J. Simpson committed his crime in the state of California, so when he was brought to trial, it was the state of California versus O.J. Simpson. The state of California was coming after you. So criminal law is, again, have you committed a crime? That can be punishable by either a fine or imprisonment or something. Civil law is a little bit different. That kind of governs the relationship between individuals. So am I doing something to hinder your rights? Am I doing something to destruct your property? So civil law would be, I hit your car, or my dog got into your yard and ruined your roses or something. Like, you would take me to court, and that would be civil law. Now, if you watch like the People's Court or Judge Judy, is Judge Judy still on TV? She is. That would be civil law. Like, somebody did something to me, they owe me money because they haven't paid me rent, or that's civil law. Now, the same act could be criminal and civil both. Let me go back to O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, obviously murdering two people. Well, he didn't do it, apparently. Let's just say the state of California said he didn't do it. I think he did, but whatever. That was criminal law. Murdering somebody is a crime. Now, the families, or at least the one family, sued O.J. Simpson for wrongful death, meaning he made a mistake or he did something to cause a death. So that's the relationship between two people. They sued him in civil court, and they won. He had to pay them, or he was supposed to pay them, millions and millions of dollars. Somehow he lost all his money, and I think he hasn't really paid them that much, but he was found guilty in civil law for the wrongful death of Ronald Goldman. So civil law and criminal law could be it's a little different. We talked about that term double jeopardy. Now, double jeopardy is you can't get charged with the same crime in the same court twice. Now, that's why O.J. Simpson could be tried by the state of California for criminal law. That's why he could be sued for the same action by the Goldman family in civil court, because it's a different court. Even though it was the same act, it was the same whatever night it was that he went over and supposedly stabbed those two people. It was the same action, but it was in a different court. Now, the same applies to, like we said, we're a parallel form of justice, meaning we have state and federal courts. Double jeopardy would apply to state and federal courts as well. And I think in class I used the example of Michael Vick. Michael Vick, who was in a dog fighting ring, ran a dog fighting ring, which that's animal cruelty. It's not okay. That's a crime in Georgia. That's also a federal crime. Now, the federal government in this case is the one that went after him. He was convicted. I think he was sentenced to, I always want to say it's 23 months in prison. If it's not, don't let me know. It's probably somewhere around there. Somewhere in that neighborhood, about 2 years. Now, the state of Georgia just backed off and they said, we're not going to go after it. We're not going to worry about it. If he would have been found not guilty and didn't get anything, the state of Georgia was prepared to try him in the state of Georgia for committing that, again, the same act, but for violating a Georgia state law. So Georgia would have went after him. Now, Georgia had every right to go on top of what the federal government did, and they could have hit him twice. After he got out of federal prison, he would have had to serve time in a state prison in Georgia if they would have went after him and he was convicted. So theoretically, they could have hit him twice for that. The last one we're going to talk about is something called statutory law. Statutory law is a statute or a law that is written by the legislature. So the legislature, when it goes and debates like taxes, that's a statutory law. When it goes and creates a law that has something to do with the environment or abortion or the stimulus to the coronavirus outbreak, the stimulus package, all of those things would be statutory laws. They're created by the legislative branch. Again, sometimes there's a little overlap, like criminal law could theoretically be a statutory law as well. So, okay. Anyways, any questions or comments on those, feel free to email me, give me a shout out. If not, I'm sure I'll see you guys later. Enjoy.